We shall speak a little bit today from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Today's theme is let Bhakti Yoga solve the worst problems in life. Bhakti Yoga solves many problems. So we will read from the Srimad Bhagavatam. I will just zoom into the topic really quick, because as there is a cause for all causes, and Krishna ultimately is the cause of all causes, there are also two root causes for all problems. Believe it or not, everything boils down to two root problems. Anyone wants to give a guess?
Attachment.
Huh?
Attachment.
Yes, attachment is connected.
Desire.
Huh?
Desire.
Desire is also connected.
Feelings.
What?
Material feelings.
Material feelings, absolutely. The number one problem is misidentification. We have forgotten who we really are, and we misidentify with the material body. And it doesn't matter if it's this life or past life or 10 past lives. Every life we repeat the same mistake, identifying with the material body, with nationality, with gender, and somebody's trying to call you. No? No? And even in this life, we identify with the different phases. You remember when you were a small boy. You lived in Russia, right? Running around in the streets, being 6, 7, 8 years old, you know, little Sergei with all his friends, and yeah. And then you were a child. I am a child. I am a boy. I am Sergei. I'm from Russia, you know, right? And then you grew up, you became a teenager, you became interested in girls, and then you went to study, to school, and we did that already before. And at one point, you left Russia, and then you came to Sweden, and we got married, you had children, and then all of a sudden, you were not a little child anymore, you were a young man. And then you became a husband, you became a husband. Maybe you were a brother, also, you know, still a brother. You're a sister, you're a daughter, small girl, and now we are adults. We are father, we are mother, father, husband, wife, very adult. We are not children anymore. So, you know, we were teenagers, we thought, children, they are stupid, they are still playing around. Teenager, rock and roll, yeah, that's, you know. And now we're adult, have to be responsible, have to go to work, have to make money, have to take care of family, so many things. And then at one point, you know, father and mother are gone, and then we are, you know, orphans almost, like. And maybe we divorce, or the wife or husband leave us, or they die, then we become widower, etc. We become father, mother, maybe we become grandmother, grandfather, have grandchildren. So every phase in life, we also identify with that phase, right? So now I don't work anymore. I'm a pensioner. Now I'm a senior. I'm a, you know, retired, like that. I get my little money charity from the state, so I have somewhere to live with a roof over my head, and I can go to ICA and buy all the cheapest ICA basic discount products with the senior discount. Once a week you get 5%. You save a few crowns. So, and then next step we have this roller, and then old man's diaper, and maybe wheelchair or crutches, and then we die. So, and then I am a corpse. I am a dead body. Well, you don't think I'm a dead body because you already left. So, misidentification, that's one of the root problems. Which is the other one? That's kind of closer to what you guys were saying. Material desires, material feelings, attachment. The second root problem is distraction. We are distracted from what we're actually supposed to do. We're supposed to serve Krishna, supposed to be engaged in the Supreme Lord's devotional service. But there are so many things in this world that are distracting us. Attachment is one. We have attachment, maybe to your own body, to your family, to this and that, to the car. We spend the whole weekend cleaning and polishing the car or whatever. And we have material desires, material feelings that we need. I have to fulfill this. I want this so much. If I only get this, I will be happy. And all these things are very powerful distractions from Jivara Svarupa Krishnera Nityadas. That now we're zooming into the Bhagavatam verse. So even though we may know that we are spirit, the material world pulls us in all directions. It wants our attention constantly away from Krishna. Do this, do that, go there, So these are the primeval problems. And that's exactly what happens to us. When we have this little desire to maybe I can enjoy separately from Krishna, then we're put into this world, and Krishna engages two aspects of his maya, of his material energy. The avaranatmika shakti. Avaranatmika means covering over. Now all of a sudden I forget I'm spirit soul. I forget I'm eternal. I forget I belong in Vaikuntha. So now I'm somebody else. What am I? I'm a material body. This life I'm a dog, hog, camel, and ass, or a human being, or woman, a man, or this and that. So this way, your true knowledge of yourself, your self-realization is being covered with a very powerful vector of Krishna's Maya, the Avaranatmika Shakti, right? And once you forget who you are, of course you forget what you're supposed to do. Then comes the other vector. Prabhupada explains this in some purports, both in Bhagavatam, Gita, and the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The other one is called Prakshepatmika Klesha. Prakshepatmika Klesha. Yeah? And that one pulls you away from Krishna, pulls you down, like we say, and engages you in so many distractions. You're pulled into, I want to do this. Oh, I desire that. I have this attachment. Or this, I'm so busy. Oh, I have to drive quicker so I come there in time. That's the distraction. These two are the root problems of every other problem we have. We have forgotten who we are, and we misidentify, and we have forgotten what we're supposed to do. We have no focus anymore. We're just distracted. We can have very much focus on material things. You can even take a course, a weekend course, how to focus in business, to make profit, to get a career. So these are the two problems. The two core causes of suffering. All other suffering, problems mean suffering, they come from these problems. So this was a short introduction. So today's class will be from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 2, text number 6. Very, very famous text. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So I will read the shloka for you. This is a very famous answer given by Sutta Goswami, or actually related, because Parikshit Maharaj to Shukadev asked the question, I'm supposed to die now in 7 days. What am I going to do? What shall I do? And then the famous verse related by Sutta Goswami, Savai pungsang paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje ahoitiki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So the question was, what shall I do? What is my dharma? So he answers, the supreme occupation, the supreme dharma, thank you, for all humanity, not just Maharaj Parikshit, not just for those who knows they're going to die in 7 days, but for all humanity. That supreme occupation is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service, bhaktir, unto the transcendent Lord, adhokshaja. Such devotional service must be ahaituki, unmotivated. That means hetu means a cause. Ahetu means without cause. I don't have an agenda. I don't serve Krishna because I want something back from him. I just serve Krishna causelessly, selflessly, and uninterrupted, apratihata, because Krishnera nitya das, another meaning of the word nitya, is uninterrupted, constantly going on, eternally. Because yayatma, atma means mean, suprasidati, that can completely satisfy the self. Completely. Everything else we try, all the distractions we have in this world are not able to completely satisfy the self. So we learn here that bhakti is the topmost occupation, dharma. It is eternal, it is unmotivated and uninterrupted. And when we practice bhakti purely, it solves both. It solves the problem of distraction because it anchors the mind in Krishna. You connect. That is the meaning of the word yoga. Yoga means you connect with the Lord. And the way devotees connect with the Lord frequently is through kirtanam and shravanam, chanting and hearing. This is connection with the supreme source of all happiness, all bliss. So when you're connected with Krishna, you're also connected with yayatma suprasidati, complete satisfaction of the self. And it also solves the misidentification, because bhakti reawakens us. Hey, wake up, you're spirit soul, you're servant of Krishna. And we are woken up, we are woke to our true role as as Krishna's loving servants. Yeah? Now, to go a little bit deeper of all the benefits of bhakti, pure devotional service. First of all, we have to straighten something out. A pure devotee is a person who is uninterruptedly and without any agenda serving Krishna. Now, we may not be pure devotees, but we can endeavor to become pure devotees. And it's not so difficult, because now when we are chanting Hare Krishna, playing the mridanga, singing, when we are listening to Bhagavatam, listening to Krishna Katha, with focus, we are pure devotees. For 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, we are pure devotees. As soon as you lose focus, distraction, then the purity disappears. But then it's explained you have to be like a fisherman. You know, we have this, they throw out the line, and it bloops in the sea, but then you have to pull it back, like this, come. You have to do that with the mind. So whenever the mind is going away, oh, I forgot to pay the bills today, I have to go shopping, and then you pull it back, right? And then you're pure devotee again, when you focus, right? So if you're a pure devotee for 15 minutes a day, that's pretty good. And then maybe you can manage half an hour. And then you can be a pure devotee for several hours, then you're really advanced. And then ultimately, you actually lose taste for the distractions. You don't want to go there. Oh no, I don't want to think about that. I want to think about Krishna, you know. And then somebody comes here, but why aren't you solidarity? You're Indian. I'm not Indian. I'm spirit soul. It's like Prabhupada, he was a follower of Gandhi. That was part of his pastime. So he was totally into Gandhi, the Indian liberation movement from the British suppression. But then, Prabhupada stopped being a Gandhi follower, and he was just a Paramahansa, Shuddha, Bhakti, Vaishnava, a pure devotee. So this is the secret. To become a pure devotee, you simply have to increase the minutes per day that you are doing devotional service with focus, without, when you are cooking in here, you're very focused. This is going to be offered to Krishna. So you're a pure devotee for those, 15, half an hour, 45 minutes, I don't know what it takes. And then somebody comes and distracts you from something else, and we should go and pick up the kids. And well, if the kids are coming to the temple, that's also pure devotion, if you pick them up. Right? If you maintain your body nicely, so you can hear and chant properly, that's also pure devotional service. If you maintain your body to look nice and go out and get drunk and chase after women or men, that's not pure devotional service. That's not even devotional service. That's just material feelings, material attachments, material desires. So you understand what I'm hinting. As soon as Krishna is in the center for our activities and our thinking, feeling, willing, then we're pure devotees, right? So ultimately, if we succeed to lose all taste for distractions and lose all misidentifications, you understand that you're spirit soul. If you're living in that state of consciousness, Krishna consciousness, whole day, 24/7, then you are a pure devotee all the time. Prabhupada said there was never any time where I didn't remember Krishna, he said. That's a pure devotee. There was never a time where I didn't remember Krishna. So what is mostly interesting for us beginners is the first benefit that Bhakti gives, which is explained by Rupa Goswami. It's aprarabdha phalam. It's, no, wait a minute. It's kleshagni. Kleshagni means it destroys all distress and karma. That means that when you engage, you become happy in devotional service. Everybody can realize this, even when you come as a beginner. You become very happy, you become very satisfied. Shubhada, it brings all auspicious. It gives you divine qualities and lifts you up, because it takes away anger, enviousness, anxiety, depression, all these things. And then moksha laguta krit. It makes even liberation seem insignificant. Of course, for a devotee, we don't suffer anymore that way. This is the qualities of pure devotional service. So when you do pure devotional service, you don't suffer. You're already liberated. Yeah? But then sudurlabha, pure bhakti is rare and precious. So it's not often that you can find pure bhakti. So when you find it, cling to it. You have kirtan, you find pure devotional service, and you don't want the kirtan to stop. Just another minute more, 2 minutes more, 5 minutes more. You want to be a pure devotee. Sandrananda Visheshatma, it's filled with deep, condensed spiritual bliss. That's pure bhakti. Deep, condensed spiritual bliss. And then the most mystic quality of pure bhakti, you don't want to give a guess, right? The most mysterious thing, and when this is what I'm describing as a gradual development. So it's most mysterious, but it's also the topmost form of pure bhakti. It attracts Sri Krishna himself. Pure bhakti attracts the Supreme Lord. So these 6 results I've been going through, it destroys distress and karma, brings auspiciousness, divine qualities, makes even liberation look insignificant. And it's very rare and precious, just like the super expensive diamonds. And it's filled with deep, condensed spiritual bliss. And finally, it attracts Krishna himself. They perfectly reflect what every soul is searching for. Freedom from suffering, joy, fulfillment, and connection. So, one can explain the different kinds of karma. I don't going to get into that now. It's a bit too technical, but basically, the body you are sitting in, that's a fully manifest result of your karma. It's called prarabdha karma. It's completely fructified. But then you have also karma in the seed form, which is unmanifest. You can't see it. And it may manifest in this life, but it may also come in the next or the next after that. And then you have all other different kinds of karma, those which is budding, just beginning to come, etc. But it's a whole technical thing. So what we can understand is that all of these, even to some extent, the prarabdha karma, the problems of the material body, but all of these different kind of karmas are completely destroyed gradually for those who take exclusive delight in devotion to Vishnu, to Krishna. So even if you will get a leg cut off or something, that is your karma. But if you take shelter of pure bhakti, you may end up of just banging your toe against something and pain. But that's much, much milder than anything else. Karma maybe you get an axe in your head, but instead you get a migraine, something much, much milder. This is what happens when you take up bhakti. Step by step. So bhakti cleans the heart thoroughly and in order, I just described, from the outermost problems down to the deepest karmic roots. Like bhakti removes stress, guilt, and fear, they gradually start losing their grip. Let's say you wake up feeling anxious about work or a difficult conversation you need to have. Normally the mind would spin like this. But you can sit down for 5 minutes, do japa, and sincerely call in Krishna's name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The situation hasn't changed, but you have changed after 5 minutes japa. Yeah? Your heartbeat slows, your mind settles down, and the same challenge feels smaller because you remember you're not facing life alone. Krishna's there in your heart, and after all, you are not this body, you're spirit soul, and all these material duties and occupations you have to engage in, well, it's actually not the real thing. So guilt softens because you feel accepted. Krishna, I'm Krishna's servant. And fear weakens because you feel protected. Krishna does protect you all the time. And life gets lighter and good qualities appear naturally. Let's say somebody speaks harsh to you. Before you would react immediately, get very upset. But now, after you practice bhakti regularly, you pause and breathe. Okay, hang on a second. Let it go, right? Not because you try to be holy, but because your heart isn't as hungry for validation. Somebody has to praise my material body. Yes, I'm a proud Swedish. I'm a man. I know my profession. I have some dignity. You should come and criticize me. Who are you? Well, I'm spirit soul. Let them criticize the body. Wonderful example in the 11th canto about the Avanti Brahmana. Yeah? He took sannyas. He went on the countryside wearing only kopin and kamandalu and a danda and begging from door to door. And people were so heavy, criticizing, chastising, beating, taking away his few things he had. He managed to get some food, and he was very hungry. He was just sit down and eat. They were passing urine on his food. Passing urine. Spitting on his head. Calling him names. He just let it go. He just let it go. Like this. Can you imagine? Krishna tells Arjuna, for somebody who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. Yes? If you identify as a kshatriya and you're a good warrior and somebody will, you're such a coward, you don't want to fight, you want to go to the forest. People are going to speak about your cowardness for a generation. So that's one way to motivate somebody who is allegedly on the platform of false ego, which we all know Arjuna is a pure devotee too. He is a close friend. Sakyaras with Krishna, they were sleeping in the same tent, sharing prasadam, wrestling, joking, But then at one point it changed. Krishna became the teacher, and Arjuna, he was enacting ignorance so that there would be a qualified listener to the message of God, right? So normally you get very upset if somebody criticizes you or whatever, but being established in pure bhakti, you just let it go. Like we say, when the Ratha Yatra procession passes, the dogs will bark. Woof, woof, woof. Who cares? Yeah. It's easier said than done, I know. You feel this deeper, quieter joy. Let's say you're walking to the bus and you start humming Hare Krishna Maha Mantra under your breath, going to the bus. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. For no reason, not a big moment, just a warm inner clarity, like the soul stretching after a long sleep. Or you offer your food to Krishna before eating, and suddenly a simple meal, a bowl of rice, a little sabji, it feels sacred. This is Krishna prasadam, a quiet inner joy, not excitement, not distraction, just connection. I have this sacred meal. An example that it's rare. You cannot fake devotion, you know. That's what these sahajas are doing, you know. Faking, oh, such a devotee, I'm crying, and I'm in Vrindavan with Radha Krishna, oh, you know. And then they go out and smoke some bidi or chew some ganja, you know. No, this is not pure bhakti. Bhakti is very rare. You meet someone who's genuinely absorbed in Krishna, who is simple, humble, steady. And when they speak, you feel peaceful. When they chant, you want to listen. And when they serve, you want to help them, right? You realize, this is the real thing. This is bhakti. And it changes you more than any book or argument, discussion would do. You cannot imitate that sincerity. You can only catch it through association. And I had the realization the other day, well, this is basic philosophy, but there is a very, very good reason why we should all look for association with pure devotees, saintly persons, with sadhus. You see, I just read that pure bhakti attracts Krishna. If a pure devotee asks Krishna for something, he doesn't ask for himself, give me this, give me that, so I can fulfill my distraction. He asks Krishna, like every day, we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dear Lord, dear energy of the Lord, please engage me in your devotional service. We just ask for service. We don't ask for, give me a new Tesla, give me a big color TV, you know, make me meet another beautiful man or woman. No, we ask Krishna for something that we can please him. Or even better, you can ask for somebody else. You know, we had the example of Vasudeva Datta in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. That was incredible. He was asking, please Lord, let me go to hell and suffer all the bad karma for all the living beings in the whole universe. Can you imagine how much compassion he felt? Of course, Krishna will not fulfill that. He doesn't want to see his devotees suffer. But he's asking. So when a pure devotee or a sadhu says, oh, this devotee, oh, Barbara here, she's so nice. She's been coming all these years regularly. She gives donations, she does service. And said, Krishna, please give your causeless mercy to this nice devotee. When a pure devotee asks Krishna, Krishna cannot refuse. Most likely, he will fulfill. So that's a good reason to come associate with devotees, pure devotees, sadhus, listen to them, chant with them, help them in service, and they will take compassion. Oh, this is such a nice devotee. Krishna, Radha, please give the mercy to this person. Make them advance in Krishna consciousness. Remove all the obstacles. And Krishna says, well, my devotee asks, you know. The word of devotee is actually more powerful. Like Krishna tells Arjuna, declare boldly, Arjuna, that my devotee will never perish. He told Arjuna to say that because everybody trusts the pure devotee. Krishna could be a little tricky, you know. Sometimes he will do this, sometimes he will do that. Huh? But it's the pure devotee you can always trust. So, because the spiritual master, because the pure devotee can deliver Krishna to you, the best idea is to get association with pure devotees because they can save you, right? Yasya prasadam bhagavat prasadam, yasya prasadam nagati kutopi. By the mercy of the spiritual master, you get the mercy of Krishna. By the mercy of Krishna, you come back to Godhead. If you don't get the mercy of the devotee, you will not get the mercy of Krishna. You can't jump over I don't care for these devotees. Oh, Krishna Radha, I'm so, doesn't work. No. He who says he's my devotee, Krishna says, he's not my devotee. But he who says he's devotee of my devotee, he is my devotee. Right? It's good to remember. And then even liberation stops impressing you. Maybe first thing I want liberation. I don't want to suffer. Let me get away from all this, Well, if you become a Krishna Bhakta and a pure devotee, you automatically get away from this. Yeah. Even if you just get liberation, you liberate and understand there's a little bit of ananda, your spirit soul, and there is some bliss in that little spirit soul. But it's not much, but it is there. But if you connect with Krishna, you have the reservoir of all bliss. Ram, the reservoir of all happiness. That's what you get when you become a devotee of Krishna. So liberation is nothing. Right? Let's say you make a small sacrifice. You manage to turn off distractions and you speak kindly to somebody, offering your time simply because you want to please Krishna. No one sees it, no one praises it, but you feel a quiet reciprocation in your heart. Later that week, something unexpected, auspicious happens. Maybe a difficult situation resolves, an opportunity appears, or you're being guided by some clear intuition, and you realize Krishna noticed. I thought nobody noticed, but Krishna noticed. Not your perfection, but your intention. Krishna is called Bhava Grahi Janardan. Bhava means the frame of mind, your mood, and Grahi, he who grasps. So even if you're not perfect in what you do, you want to help devotees serve something, or you want to do puja on the altar, you make many mistakes, but not the perfect circles, they're a little bit here and there. Krishna is Bhava Grahi Janardan. He notices your intention in your heart. So this is how the Lord is drawn, not to greatness. He's the greatest. Why should he be impressed by, I'm such a qualified this and that? No, but to sincerity. I try my very best. Whatever I have, whatever I can do, I try to please you, my Lord. That attracts Krishna. Going back to the liberation thing, if you sit in a room after a long day, you may chant or read for a few minutes, and you feel a taste of Krishna's presence because of that. Suddenly the idea of just, escaping suffering, that feels a bit small. You may think, why would I want emptiness when I can have a relationship with Krishna? So even the desire for relief feels ordinary compared to the sweetness of service. Helping a devotee, encouraging someone, offering prasadam, chanting sincerely. So freedom is good. Liberation is good, freedom is good, but connection is better. Connection with Krishna, connection with his devotees, right? So, finally, I want to speak a little bit about how one can take all this knowledge and use it in everyday life. Bhakti solves all of our deepest problems when it becomes our way of life. Our way of life. I speak about this many times. The body is important. Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, because a balanced body supports sadhana. If you have eaten enough, not too much, too little, slept enough, not too much, too little, you balance work with relaxation. And, you eat healthy, you eat regular times, like that. You don't really bother so much about the body, at least as long as you're not too old. Because if you're old, the body gives you constant pain. but that's the way it's supposed to be. So take care of the body, sleep, simple food, clean habits, that create bodily well-being. And when the body is nice, you can have peace of mind. If you have a body that bothers you, is suffering, the mind is always disturbed. You can't focus on meditation, on chanting, on anything really, not even reading. But with a, body together, you have a peaceful mind. Japa and kirtan further calms it down. It gives you peace. And then when you uplift your mind, which you do by mantra, mana trayate, then you can engage in service. You can engage in your true identity, in your true nature. Cleaning, teaching, cooking, organizing, everything is spiritualized. And then the last thing Prabhupada recommend, we should read daily to get inspiration, to know Krishna and deepen the connection, know about his leelas. So reading gives inspiration, it reveals the qualities of the Lord, and it nourishes the love. So these 4 principles, take care of health, take care of chanting, take care of service, and take care of reading, that anchors us in our real identity and connects us with our purpose of serving Krishna. So to take away today, Bhakti is not just a ritual, it is a life of awakened identity. We awaken from the sleep of Maya, Jiv Jago, Gaura Chanda Bole. You awake to the fact that you're spirit soul and your task is devotional service. Even small, sincere efforts in Bhakti, even if you're just a pure devotee, 1 minute a day, 2 minutes a day, that yields eternal results, right? So the power of pure devotion heals the soul, restores our identity, attracts Krishna, and brings supreme happiness. When we rediscover our eternal service to Krishna, our deepest problems, material and existential, begin to dissolve. So if I give some advice to the audience, if you don't chant Hare Krishna, start with at least 1 round. If you chant 4 rounds, 8 rounds, 16 rounds, do it with focus. Try to be a pure devotee as long as you chant the mantra by complete focus, right? If you don't offer your food to Krishna, start doing that. Learn how to offer the food. It's not so difficult. Try to associate with devotees as frequently, as often as possible. And read a few verses of the Bhagavad Gita with Prabhupada's purports daily, right? Offer your food to Krishna, associate with devotees, read a few verses of the Bhagavad Gita daily. So that was basically what I had to say today. How Bhakti will solve the deepest problems of life, which are misidentification with the body and distraction into so many material unnecessities, or Prabhupada calls it unnecessary necessities. Unnecessary necessities. Friends, thank you very much. Is there a comment or a question? Yes, sir?
I have a question. We have, a line of acharyas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur,
Yes.
which is like our life and soul and inspiration
Yeah.
to everybody, including Srila Prabhupada. At the same time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was bitterly lamenting, when that day will be mine, when he would feel Krishna consciousness. There is a certain contradiction here. So on one hand, we know he was the greatest acharya. On the other hand, he is very unhappy. He is lamenting. Would you please elaborate on that?
Spiritual lamentation, spiritual suffering spiritual separation and longing is not material feelings, they are spiritual. In the spiritual world, everything is absolute. So the deepest so-called suffering is the deepest bliss. That's the explanation given by the acharyas. So the more, that's actually, it means be a Rupanuga, followers in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. The 6 Goswamis were running around Vrindavan at the end of their lives, and where is Krishna, where is Radha, where did you go? They're all like that. Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they're all like that, asking, complaining, lamenting. And another logical explanation is that Krishna says in the second chapter that in this endeavor there is no loss, no diminution. Yeah. So you may reach a certain platform, but there is no end to it. It's not that you come from 0 to 100. 100 is total spiritual bliss, and you won't reach any further. The bliss, the relationship with Krishna, will become sweeter and sweeter and more intense. We can't even imagine what goes on. And the thing is, if we become complacent as, now I feel enough bliss, I'm happy, that's bus, no more happiness, I don't need. Then you stop endeavoring. The way to keep going even a material relationship is to all the time endeavor. You try to please. Like there are so many spiritual principles that you can even apply in your material life, in your marriage or relationship with your children or anything else. One is, for example, that your real happiness is in the happiness of the other. That's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you sit down, okay, I just got a new wife, I'm expecting her to make me happy. Oh, you don't make me happy. Well, I kick you out, I get another wife. So your duty is to make me happy. No, that's my duty is to make you happy. This is an investment, like putting money in the bank. The more I try to make you happy and pleased, the more you will be met by the reciprocal feeling, generally, unless the other one is a psychopath. So this is the thing. When will a day come when I feel some real happiness, when I feel I have satisfied Krishna? They're all the time trying more, and at the same time they feel more and more bliss, more and more ecstasy in that spiritual endeavor. Yeah. So you never come to a point now, okay, I've taken sannyas, I have 2,000 disciples, I get all the Mahaprasadam, people are making obeisances, I made it. Yeah, no, that's no. Actually, it's a little bit like, I think it was Einstein who said that the more you realize, or the more you realize how little you know. So, but who can explain and understand the mind of a pure devotee? It's not possible. But we can understand they experience the topmost transcendental bliss in what looks like the topmost misery, Yeah, Nilo Premadana, where did I go? Hey, Rupa Sanatana, where are you now? I'm just weeping, But they're total bliss. So to us, me personally, being conditioned by misidentification and a lot of distractions, I have a hard time grasping how is this possible. Why don't they show symptoms of, being totally absorbed in complete happiness, floating on the pink cloud in the sky. No. There are symptoms of this transcendental bliss given, like in Shastra, in the Nectar of Devotion, for example. I think about the word horripilation. Horripilation is hair standing on end and shaking, and so there are certain symptoms you can't fake and you can't, prevent them to happen. Some devotees say that one reason that Shukadeva Goswami, throughout the entire Bhagavatam, especially 10th canto, he didn't mention Srimati Radharani by name even once. He just went that far to say that gopi. He said that gopi. Some devotees say that it was before because he was afraid that he will end up in complete ecstasy, thinking about service of Srimati Radharani or something like that, and he will get stunned or fall off the Vyasasan, and he will be unable to do his job. His job was to teach Parikshit Maharaj. So it's hard to understand. Yeah.
Can I ask one more?
Yes, please.
In everyday environment, there's a little association with devotees. There's family, work, and how do I get preserve, or so to say, that enlightenment that I get from devotees?
One of the best association you can get with a pure devotee is through Prabhupada Vani. Prabhupada, he selflessly labored. He was up all night dictating these wonderful translations and purport of the most important Bhakti Shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. And I know some devotees that may even live in an environment, that work very hard, that may even live with parents or family who are not very interested in Krishna consciousness. And, why don't you go out and have fun and we do this and that? Well, we have to find a balance, because you can't make these people your enemy. You think that they will benefit by having my association, even as a neophyte. But who can criticize you? Okay, I'm sorry, I feel a little bit tired. I'm working all day. So do you mind if I sit there and read? Nobody can criticize you for reading a book. And even if they're very inimical, are you reading this Bhagavad Gita again? And, you can get some little cover, like cloth, or you can hide. No, I'm just reading some book here from, ancient India. Nobody has to know. And you can enjoy every page by direct association with Srila Prabhupada. He actually said, associating with my instructions are more important than direct association with my body, with my physical. Yeah. So that's a really, really good way of associating with devotees. And then, when you can get away, to go to, we have programs in Lund, we have programs here, and maybe the, home program, and somewhere, you can figure out. The thing is, Krishna fulfills your desires, your material desires, according to your karma. If you deserve to win on the lottery and spend the money on nonsense, he will make sure you will win the lottery and spend your money on nonsense. But he takes special attention when you try to become a devotee. So whatever little desire you have, please, Krishna, let me associate more with devotees, take prasadam with them, chant, or like that, or he will make sure you can do that. He will arrange one way or the other. So have faith. He has a plan. It may not happen immediately. It all goes like this girl I used to quote. She's a Christian. He says that when life feels hopeless, my Lord, please remind me that your plans are better than my dreams. So he has his own timetable. But if you pray to him, ask him, please, Krishna, help me. I want to, etc., etc. You will find. It's all about sincerity. Like that. I remember when I was a new devotee and it was Christmas, and I was polite and clear, young man. I told them, I don't really like to participate. All they do is eat meat and they drink alcohol, and they start be very loud and do some foolish dancing and stuff. And I think I just want to go to my room. So I, met all the guests and said hello and thank you. And then when they started to drink, I just sneaked away somewhere. And they didn't notice because they were too busy doing their nonsense, right? So I was sitting in my room with my typewriter, and a book, Perfect Question, Perfect Answers, and I was peacefully translating it to Swedish, which was my joy, which was totally different from their so-called joy of getting drunk and eating a dead pig, you know. So if you have a little bit of sincerity, Krishna will arrange that you can develop your Krishna consciousness, evolve. Okay. I think we should end there, right? Thank you so much for coming.